Hello, and welcome to the first ever Stellar Stoa podcast. I am Sean Stellar Ranney. I am the creator, founder of the Stellar Stoa, and this is the first podcast episode for the Stellar Stoa podcast. And if you're watching, listening, whatever it is, you're probably a member at my gym, a friend, somebody who knows me, or maybe you've heard me on my other podcast that I created a couple years ago, The Simple Man's Guide to the Good Life, or you've seen me on social media a little bit, or you don't know who the hell I am. If you do know who I am, you may be thinking, oh, here we go. Sean's starting another project. He has had a Substack, he has had a podcast, he has had a men's group, he has had everything under the sun, and I get it. I do a lot of things. I have a lot of passions. I start a lot of projects that I don't really follow through with. This one's a bit different in that it's the first project thing I'm starting that is consolidating a lot of my different passions, a lot of different ideas I have for like side hustle businesses and stuff like that. And it's bringing it under one roof. And the purpose of today's podcast is kind of twofold. I want to explain why I'm creating the Stellar Stoa and what it's going to be moving forward. And it will explain how it's kind of consolidating a lot of the different things I've come up with in the past from different social media accounts, different podcasts, different businesses, etc. And we'll kind of go from there. So I created the Stellar Stoa for two reasons. One is that just in general in society, I feel like people have lost a lot of autonomy and sovereignty. They don't know where to look for control. The modern world feels very chaotic right now. We're getting into 2026 as I'm recording this podcast, and our government feels chaotic in the West. Job security is not really a thing. We have AI coming down the pipeline. Wages and money feels tight for a lot of people. Things just feel meh. And I am a coach. I own a CrossFit gym, and I see this happening with my members, the people I interact with. I see it happening with myself at times. And it's causing a lot of like angst. It's causing a lot of apathy. I think it's causing a lot of obviously like mental health issues. I think it's causing a lot of physical health issues. And one thing I know how to do is create community. That's another thing I see obviously missing in society is great communities. I mean, we have a great community at Upreach CrossFit, but loneliness is an epidemic for a reason. And I think a lot of people feel siloed off. I feel like a lot of people, their only communities are coming from online, and that's not connection as we know. I mean, we know this from studies and just our own experience with online communities. It's not great. Social media is not social. And I feel as if one of the things that I can bring as a solution to this is bringing people together, or at least the people that are willing to listen to this kind of content around self-betterment, self-exploration, self-awareness, philosophy, physiology and biology, and how to take sovereignty and ownership back of their life. And that's kind of the solution, I think. I think what we need right now is a reminder of what we can control, right? We're looking for all these things outside of us to control and not being able to have it because we don't control anything but ourselves, and it feels chaotic. And so creating a space and a place to educate, to help people take that sovereignty and autonomy back and refocus on what they can control themselves. And one of the reasons I then shifted what was Stellar Health Awakening, which was going to be my just FDN, functional diagnostic nutrition, kind of holistic health practice to Stellar Stoa, was I, finished my FDN course this past year, and I have a deep want to help people with their health and longevity outside of the gym as well as inside. But I've been a fitness coach for 13 years, and I just see people struggling with their health, and modern Western medical doctors not helping at all, if anything, making things worse, because they're not equipped to handle longevity and preventative health care. And so, I did my FDN course. That's a anywhere between 6 to 1 year long education course. I now have access to thousands of functional labs that I can help people get, interpret those labs, and then give people protocols, corrective course on anything from autoimmune diseases to like just health and longevity to preventative care, you name it. But in that, I just feel like the health and wellness space is so saturated and everybody's kind of doing the same thing. And while I am a little bit different because I have direct access to these functional labs that not a lot of practitioners have, I didn't feel as if it was uniquely me. And I was listening to Naval Ravikant. Some of you maybe know who Naval is. If you don't, he's a tech entrepreneur mixed with a philosopher. And I've never really enjoyed hustle culture, grind culture, like gurus like Alex Hormozy. Like none of that stuff ever really hits for me. It's just not the way my personality is aligned. Again, I'm like a stoic. And so like this idea of aligning your life towards power and money and wealth has never hit for me. Like I think it's important to have money and wealth. Like we got to function, but like I've never been able to like really be like, hell yeah, brother, on that kind of stuff. Naval Ravikant's a bit different because he frames it all more around philosophy and the self. And anyways, I was listening to his book, and it's called The Almanac. It's not really his book. It's a book of all of his quotes, sayings, etc. Okay, that's neither here nor there. Essentially, early on in the book, Naval says, if you really want to chase wealth in an authentic way, you need to figure out what makes you unique, and then figure out what hole is out there in society or what problem is out there in society, and take your unique knowledge, your unique, life experience, and give that to the world. And so I sat with that and I realized, what makes me unique is, yes, I have 13 years of coaching experience. Yes, I have deep fundamental understanding and knowledge around human physiology and biology. But even more so, what makes me unique is in the past 5 to 6 years, I've gone on a huge journey around myself using ancient philosophy, mainly Stoicism, but all philosophy really, mindfulness practice, self-help, therapy, like all of these types of things. And it is fundamentally changed the way that I interact with reality around me. Like if the people who knew me 5 to 6 years ago that know me now, they will tell you that I am a different person. And the way I interact with reality is different. And it has helped me so much with my life in general. And I realize like people in my gym come to me not only for their physiological issues, but people come to me with heavy conversations, and I love it. And I thrive off of having those conversations. And I think the reason why is I make people feel safe. I now have a fundamental framework on how I can help people with those hard, tough life things. And hard, tough life things have happened to me. My sister passed away in 2012 when I was 19 years old. I've witnessed another death. I mean, I have plenty of trauma in my life, but I have used these tools in the past 5 or 6 years to really better my life. And through bettering my life, better my mindset, better my relationships, my communities, etc. And I think that's what makes me unique, is that I have this intersection of deep understanding of the human body, but I also have a decently deep understanding of different mindsets, different tools, and different frameworks for interacting with reality and consciousness and other human beings and relationships and all of these things that stress us out, or that we were never taught how to have frameworks for any of these things. We're just still trying to figure it out. And so I decided I'm going to pivot from Stellar Health Awakening to the Stellar Stoa. And that also lights me up. Like it fires me up to talk about this kind of stuff. So in the end of November, beginning of December, I decided to do that. Now, as we sit here at the end of December, beginning of January, going into 2026, I've been trying some different things around what am I doing with the Stellar Stoa? Like, what is this going to be? How am I going to, get awareness around it? So now we're going to get into a little bit of my issues. For me as a human and as a entrepreneur and a high achiever, one of my biggest issues, and we started the whole podcast talking about this, is I start a lot of projects. I have a lot of ideas. I'm an ideas guy. People say there's two kinds of entrepreneurs or two kinds of CEOs. There's the big idea pie in the sky, like I see the vision, and then there's the the people that are the doers, or the ones who are able to, put it into practice type of thing. They're the in the weeds, and I am definitely the big picture. I come up with idea. I have to say no to most of my ideas most of the time. And so Stellar Stoa is another version of this. Now, like I said, it's consolidating a lot of things. I've had a podcast. I've had different Instagram accounts where I'm talking about philosophy and then trying to integrate it with health and all that. All that stuff's gone now. This is it. But at the same time, I was thinking, okay, I gotta create like an online community and an education system, and that's what I'm gonna do. Again, I am the owner of an in-person community, a brick and mortar business. I own a CrossFit gym. That is thriving. That is great. But then I come up with these ideas to have side businesses that I don't need necessarily, but I'm passionate about. So that's my first idea. Okay, I got to create like an online community. I got to figure out a way to funnel people into it. I want to do like a New Year's challenge, like all these different things. Okay, well, I'm going to start creating this online community. I'm going to create coursework and all that kind of stuff. Well, I need to get people onto it. So I transferred over the Stellar Health Awakening Instagram to the Stellar Stoa Instagram. And I'm like, okay, I got to start getting consistent now, posting content. And I got to become like a content creator. And for those that know me, super inauthentic to who I am as a person. I understand that it comes with the day and age that we're in, that you need to promote yourself through social media and online. And I understand it even more now, having done it almost every single day for a month. And I respect the hell out of those that are doing this, because it is so challenging. And another thing I realized, well, I already knew this about myself. I have a toxic relationship with social media. Social media does something to my mind. It is my vice, and it makes me feel shitty about myself. And it feeds on this aspect of myself that I've really worked on and is pretty good in the real world, which is that like needing applause from other people, needing good jobs from other people. And I quickly realized, as I was posting and trying to create content around Stellar Stoa, people aren't on social media for this kind of content, like this podcast, right? These are nuanced ideas. These are hard-hitting things we're talking about, self-realization, self-exploration, self-awareness. People go to social media, they scroll Instagram, me included, there's no shots at anybody, to numb themselves, to get dopamine, to escape the craziness that is the modern age that we're living in. And like I said, I know for me, and many times, if I'm being honest with myself, I use it to numb myself from the apathy or the emotions that I'm feeling. So when the Stellar Stoa stuff, my stuff comes across the screen, and it's saying like, hey, you need to take ownership over your life, or here's what you need to be doing. People are like, ugh. It's like revolting to them, because their mind isn't in that framework on social media. Now, on podcasts, different story. So that leads me to kind of where I've gotten to with Stellar Stoa, what I want it to be for 2026. I have decided that for 2026, my only goal with Stellar Stoa is to put out one podcast a week, 52 podcasts. I already have the whole year planned out, and that's it. And the reason for that is I don't want to do too much too soon, get burned out, and not do this and just give up on this, because I am passionate about it. But at the same time, I have a full-blown business that is successful, that I run, that I am in charge of. I don't need this to be anything right now. I also don't have a following. For all I know, nobody is watching this video on YouTube or listening to this on Spotify. Or if you are, you're somebody who is part of my gym already, so you're already part of my community. But what I hope is, over the course of a year, just being consistent with posting a podcast, is that I slowly start to grow a following of like-minded individuals that are into self-growth, self-help, self-betterment, being challenged, want to know and learn more about human physiology and how they can take ownership and sovereignty over their physiological health, mental health, all of it. Become better leaders in their communities and their relationships. And by the end of 2026, my hope is I have a big enough following that I feel confident starting the online Stellar Stoa school. And then going into 2027, having an online community that has at least a group of people that have been here, know what we're all about, and that's what 2027 looks like. So with that being said, as far as like the Instagram and stuff like that, I'm not a content creator. I thrive in this form, long form, stream of consciousness, have a topic, talk about it, rant. That's where I thrive. I feel inauthentic posting all the Instagram stuff. So all I'm going to end up doing is doing these podcasts, chopping up the podcast into little bite-sized bits that will go up on Instagram and hopefully funnel people to come watch on YouTube or listen on Spotify. And I will post like a weekly carousel on Sunday for education purposes because I do view myself as an educator, as a teacher, and that's where I thrive. So that's what I want my content to be around. And I think podcasting is perfect for that. I think snipping up a podcast episode and just putting that out as little bits on social media and then having a educational carousel around kind of that week's theme, like whatever the podcast theme was, and then putting out an educational carousel on Sunday or Saturday, whatever, to kind of give people like, here's some things you can do around this. And that'll be it. So what can you guys do to help with this? I mean, the easiest thing is if you're watching this on YouTube, hit subscribe, send it to somebody, comment, like it, all the things. If you're watching or listening on Spotify, same thing, subscribe to the channel and then send the episode to somebody that maybe you think would be want to be part of this community, want to hear the things I have to say. As far as when these episodes will come out, Sunday is when the YouTube video will come out, and then Monday morning at 4:30 in the morning, somewhere around there, is when the Spotify episode will come out. So if you want to see it early, Sunday on YouTube, Monday on Spotify. And so that's what we're going to be doing for 2026. This is the first episode. I'm recording it in December, and it's going to be released. So if you're watching this, it's probably being released. If it's on YouTube, that's that first Sunday, maybe before Jan 1, and then that first Monday of kind of the week of January. So like Jan 1, I think, is on like a Wednesday or Thursday. So somewhere around there type of thing. Anyways, if you're here, thank you for watching. Appreciate it. And I'll see you guys in the next episode where we actually get into tangible stuff around philosophy, around health, around mind states, around leadership, around community, and all of it. I appreciate you guys. Thank you.